Hi everyone and welcome to episode 26 of TeachTechPlay. I'm Eleni Kyritsis and I'm your host for tonight's show. Tonight we have a fantastic all-female lineup and I know they're going to be sharing some wonderful things that they're doing in their own areas and schools. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone shares tonight. First of all, I'd like to congratulate episode 25 winner, which was Narissa Liang, and she presented on Google CS first. So I know that coding platform is a great one to start off with, and as it provides all the instructional information that you need to get coding started at your school. But as for tonight, we do have some fantastic presenters here. And before we introduce those wonderful people, I just want to remind everybody about voting for your favorite presenter. So make sure you follow this link and follow us on Twitter, as we do have a chat going where we'll be sharing out any links from our presenters tonight. We also want to just remind everyone about next year's conference. So it is going to be at Ivanhoe Grammar again next year, and it is on the 3rd and 4th of April. We have a fantastic lineup of presenters, including some of the presenters we have tonight. And I just wanted to let you know, if you are planning on sending 5 or more staff from your school, just get in contact with me and we can organise a discount code for you. So hopefully we get to see a few of you there. So for tonight, I might throw over to Steve. Steve, do you want to say a quick hello and then we'll introduce all our wonderful presenters?
Hello, Eleni. Hello, everybody. I am tonight's token male. And before we started, we was commenting that this is the most organised and that we've ever been. We had 15 minutes to spare. So I'm excited about tonight's show and really excited to hear tonight's guests.
Thank you, Steve. And yes, it was very organised. I think female power, we know how to do things and we get it done when it needs to be done. So I'm super excited. And I think when everyone started adding what they were going to be sharing tonight, I was just getting even more excited. I was like, hurry up, November, and let's get this episode going. So to start off, Annette, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and what you do? Oh, hang on, Annette. Just remember to unmute yourself. Oh, we've lost sound. Hang on a second. No, it should be working. Are you there? Uh-oh, we've lost you. No, there you go. Talk now. No. Oh, do you want to try leaving and coming back in, Annette, and maybe it might work then? Of course, you jinxed it, Steve.
Always the way.
We might jump while we're getting that sorted. Danielle, do you want to introduce and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name's Danielle. I'm from Cairns. I work in the Catholic Diocese and I am a Senior Education Officer and I support curriculum, pedagogy and technology across our 9 secondary colleges.
Fantastic. Nick, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Hi, I'm Nicole Spence and I am from Fairbank Grammar. I teach year 1 and I work with Eleni, and I just want to thank her for having me tonight.
No problem, Nick. Great to have you here. I know you're doing fantastic things, so excited to have you share tonight. Annette, do you want to see if your sound's working? Oh, do you want to try pulling out your headphones and trying, Annette? Oh, why is it not working now?
Might need to be a restart, I think.
Yeah, Annette, do you want to maybe try restarting?
Sometimes the audio doesn't kick in.
Thanks, Annette. Don't stress. We'll work it out. And we'll go over to Rebecca while Annette is just restarting and refixing up.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Rebecca from Melbourne Girls Grammar and I'm a year 4 teacher and I'm also the creativity animator.
Thank you, and wonderful to have you all here tonight. And I know we're all going to be hearing some wonderful things. Now, Annette was going to be sharing first, so we might postpone Annette and we'll get her back in. It's very strange. It was working 2 minutes ago and then it just cut out. So we'll make sure we get that working. But to start tonight's show, Danielle, are you happy to go first? Perfect. So let me know when you're ready and I'll start the timer.
Okay, ready when you are, Eleni.
Off you go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. As I just said a minute ago, my job is to support curriculum, pedagogy and technology in the secondary colleges in Cairns. I have a small team, very powerful team that work across the colleges. So we cover, the Australian curriculum for years 7 to 10, QCAA, so our senior syllabuses. We also support VET, technology, pedagogy and gifted education across primary and secondary sector. So we're a little bit busy most of the time. Something that we've really found is presenting itself in the last couple of years is the incredible constraints and tensions and the passions that are coming with lots and lots of change in education. I know we're living in a new era of innovation. There's lots of money around for these sorts of things, and we're seeing things happening in education that aren't just subjects anymore. So things like STEM, the maker movement, design thinking and education. So we try to stay abreast of a lot of those things, but we've found that sometimes there's quite a jump for teachers and leaders who have taught the same way for a long time to then move into dramatically radical different ways of working. So there's lots and lots of discomfort there. So we've certainly found that there are a number of strategies that work and that don't work. A lot of them about taking people and introducing them to things very quickly. But what we found really works well is this fantastic site, which I'm going to share now, from the founders at IDEO, California. So, you know, we're big believers of design thinking here. I hope everybody can see that. Eleni, can you just let me know that everybody
Perfect.
can see that?
We
Beautiful.
can see it.
So this is just a really, really simple Padlet that we use with teachers and with school leaders to show them that innovation doesn't necessarily mean spending lots and lots of money or, you know, hiring consultants and getting external people in. There are some really wonderful tools here in this design kit. Padlet here that everyone's welcome to use. It's really just introducing you to the people who are behind who wrote it, Kelly Brothers. This is a fantastic TED Talk. Highly recommend watching that. And then just looking at some of the benefits of using the design kit itself. So it's a really lovely, simple site. It shows you the mindsets behind the people who came up with these tools. So if you've done any design thinking, you'll know who this guy is, Tim Brown. But then getting into the actual guts of it is the methods. Taking the whole staff through what is design thinking. This goes straight in and it has some really lovely simple tools grouped around those 3 ideas of design thinking. So inspiration, ideation and implementation. Now, as we all know, that's not the only way to do design thinking, but that's what these guys use. Color-coded. So here's the 5 whys. So this breaks down one way to do inspirational thinking, gives you a suggested time, level of difficulty, materials needed, participants, and it walks you through. So it's really like a recipe. It's different tools. So the red ones are the inspire. Then you go into the bluey green for the ideate, which there's some really fun stuff here. Green, which is the implementing. So you can chop and change, mix and match, cross-hatch, do it in small groups, do it in large groups. It's a really, really wonderful tool. And we've also included over here some more resources that people might want to read about developing creative confidence, which is such an important skill for students, but primarily it's got to start with teachers. So if anyone has any questions.
Perfect timing.
Superstar.
Thank you, Danielle. And I think what you just shared there is great. I know that we were talking about that whole design process thinking today in regards to our Year 6 exhibition that we're having at the end of the term. And we were tossing up with which I words to use as part of the process. And I think, you know, that's something that always comes up and it just relates so nicely. And I like those I've got something to take back to the team tomorrow. So thank you for sharing. Did anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I did. I love the Kelly brothers. This book, The 10
yeah.
Types of Innovation, is amazing. One thing I'm really keen to know is, do you use design thinking with your sort of upper, like secondary? And if you have had success, what does it look like?
Yeah, we predominantly work with teachers. So we've done activities really where we use design thinking to break open some difficult discussions where there were some fairly heated and strong opinions. So it was a way really for teachers to get some empathy for each other and kind of appreciate where each other's coming from. And that kind of just diffuses the emotions and really trying to, again, walk a mile in someone else's shoes. With students, we've seen some results in terms of might we questions. So how might we better understand, World War I as a precursor for World War II? I'm a history teacher, so I'm going to go down that road. So using how might we and trying to understand. So, I guess perspective in history, where, it's very easy to look at the stereotypes of, say, people who were doing things in the 1920s and 30s that don't necessarily sit well with people now, and really understanding why people voted for certain later dictators.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Thanks, Danielle. Did anyone else have any questions for Danielle? No? Annette, do you want to try your sound? Fingers crossed. Everything's crossed.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yay! Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let me know when you're ready? And if you're ready, have you got everything set up to present?
Yes, I have.
Perfect.
So I'm a teacher at Ormiston College. Mostly I teach science, and so I've also embarked on teaching STEM, and I look after the makerspace, so I do all of those sorts of things. So tonight I'm going to talk about project-based learning.
Perfect. So, when you're ready, Annette, let me know and I'll start the timer.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Perfect. Off you go.
Want to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, hang on. No, I can't at the moment.
We're good?
You want to just try screen sharing it again?
Okay.
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 We've lost that now.
That's all right. I'll try it again.
Yay, we've got it now.
Yay. I've got a surf well, so you understand the hiccups I've had. So project-based learning. So we just embarked on this process of developing STEM, and we've always come from that place where we've got a disciplinary approach to STEM, and so use the makerspace. We're trying to develop a culture where the students actually engaged in real-world problem solving and entered interdisciplinary phase of learning. So coupled with the makerspace, we'll also, I'll just delete that one. So coupled with the makerspace, we had to sort of look at what pedagogy we would to roll out this idea in creating. And we looked at project-based learning. Now, I know there's a lot of discussion about what project-based learning is and what problem-based learning is. On the screen there, you can see that there's a few differences. We don't get sort of too hung up about the differences, but what we want to sort of illustrate is that it's not a project where somewhere during the phase of learning, for example, I know people are history teachers, so I'll connect with that. During the phase of learning there, if they're in the Roman Empire or something like that, that they actually make a catapult. And everyone does the same method and uses the same terminology and produces the same catapult by a certain recipe. So we wanted to avoid doing that sort of project, and we wanted to inspire the students to learn and create. So here are some of our concepts that we've actually done at Ormiston. We've got a robotic hand. Students might use hydraulics, interactive stories using makey kits and Scratch, and we try and get the student voice happening in that as well, and so that the students are able to present their projects. So how do we go about it? Sort of similar process to what we've just heard before. We break it up into inquire, create, and then exhibit, and we break it up into 6 steps. So just looking at a couple of steps. For our key knowledge, we look at our CARA. In this case, it's science, but we do actually look at all of the content descriptors. Sometimes we tweet out that we've done something or we're interested in it and find other people have the same ideas, and we can share that. And then lastly, we question, hook event and sustained inquiry as well. So we're big OneNote users. We flip the learning, we use Office. So there's all those different ways that we try and get project-based learning to the forefront. So there's some resources for you. Okay, so that ends my slideshow.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Annette. And I know you had 40 minutes, 40 seconds, not minutes, 40 seconds to spare. I was so intrigued in your presentation, I forgot to remind you of your 1 minute. But huge thank you. I know what is happening at Ormish College is some fantastic things around your project-based learning and science. I know that Trav, who we've had on the show before, always speaks so highly of everything that you are doing. So huge thank you. Did anyone have any questions for Annette?
Yeah, I do, Annette. For a school looking to start with, you know, a PBL journey, where do you recommend starting?
Well, we train some we train some teachers, and they were key teachers in different year levels. So, for example, we started in teachers. We train those guys on a 2-day intensive training program. So now we're actually doing those workshops ourselves at school, because we've used sort of the train the trainer model, so that we've got people now skilled in those areas. So where do you start? Have a look at the resources that are out there, because there's lots of resources for project-based learning. There's High Tech High, there's Buck Institute, there's Ormiston College. So, yeah, you know, there's lots of resources there that you can actually locate and find, and just jump in, give it a go. On that I just sent out there, you'll find that there's lots of things that you could actually just pick up that PBL hydraulics unit and just start running with it. So feel free.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And,
okay.
and I think it was great how you even said not to get worked up on the language. So whether it's project-based learning or what's the other one? Problem-based learning. Like as soon as you get worked up on that, what you'll notice and you'll find is you won't even do it, because you're like, I'm not sure what to do. And I think just have a go and try something different, and you'll be amazed with what can be achieved. So huge thank you for sharing. Did anyone else have any questions? No? So Nick, we've got you up next. So let me know when you're ready and we can start the timer.
Okay, so I'm Nicole Spence, and I'm a Year 1 teacher at Furbank with Eleni. So I am ready when you're ready, Eleni.
Perfect. Off you go. Did you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I will in a minute. First of all, Annette, I want to connect with you. I love what you have to talk about. And so I've started doing TinkerTime, which I just call TinkerTime because to me it's a hybrid of STEM, STEAM, Makerspace. And so I got involved in TinkerTime by just having a personal desire to get to know more and more about STEM and STEAM and Maker and wanting it to happen. And so I just started in my Year 1 class every Friday. We just had an hour where we just tinkered. Sometimes I'd put out a project of the day, which involved an engineering aspect or building, constructing, or just let the girls create. So Rachel Dorley from Tinker Lab is another woman who I started to follow all around the same time that I started to find out about all of these other approaches to learning. And so I started working this year with a year 5 teacher from our school who had done Genius Hour. And we had the year 1s and the year 5s working together, doing Genius Hour in semester 1, and that was fantastic. And we had parents in to view it, and they were so excited about what the girls were doing. So this semester we've stepped back and we've just done TinkerTime. So I've got my slides. I'll share that with you now. See, is that coming up? Oops, yep, there. Now I just need to click on my slides. One step at a time. So I just had this Google slide that I shared with the girls, and we've got Kid President videos, we've got Ellen videos of showing different kids inventing, we've got what is Makerspace. So I was just trying to get the girls aware of what's out there and what's available for them, what ideas that might get their heads going. We gave them a simple slide of here are some things to get you thinking. You know, it could be photography, coding, sewing, crafting. I wanted to let them know, no matter if you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however old you are, there's something out there, and we value what you want to do. So just gave them lots of different examples. We had a whole Pinterest board up that had lots of different things, and it was amazing the ideas they started coming down with. And some of the girls needed to be refined. They needed to have their ideas brought down into the fact that I'm just learning, and I was very honest with, I don't have all the answers, I can't do everything, but I'm willing to learn alongside you. I'm willing to have a go at doing what you're doing. And we're very fortunate that we have myself and the year 5 teacher. We've got our library teacher on hand at the time. We've got our curriculum coordinator who can come in most days, and we've got parent helpers who come in. So as their projects get going, they've got more and more support and people who can work with them weekly. So last term, in term 3, I would put out project of the day for girls who, particularly the year 1s, who didn't have a bigger project or something that they wanted to focus on. But I'd always do it in the vein of engineering or designing, creating. They could do particularly we just had these, you know, building, constructing, what can you build? And they put these together. Then we could talk about 2D shapes, 3D objects, what's happening, what makes it stronger, how much can it hold? We'd balance things on it. Some girls went off and made stop motion movies. I had another girl who said to me, I want to make a vending machine. And I said, okay, hang on, I have to work within the realm of what I can do. But I sat down and I showed her the Cane's Arcade video, and we went through the whole process of planning, talking about what she would need, the design features, working together every week. And she created, this is not her final finished product, but she created a really cool Cane's Arcade style vending machine. We made marble mazes where the girls, there's little videos up there that you can watch later of how the girls designed and organized to get their marble mazes working. And one of the quite cool things that was happening was with the library teacher, the girls were creating circuits. So it was all that backfilling knowledge that these 6-year-olds were getting on circuitry and what's a conductor, what's not a conductor, how to turn the light bulb on, to the point where if you watch this little video at some point, I think Eleni will share these slides, that you can see the doll. It wasn't really a doll in the end, but the wire spun around the battery, which was fantastic. So there's lots of fun things still happening this term. We've got girls making lemon volcanoes, where they are the reaction of dish soap and baking soda and just making, you know, the reaction, the chemistry event, and then they're going to make lemon circuits. So year 1's working with year 5s, year 1's working on their own. It's been awesome, and it's really exciting, and I hope more and more people get tinkering. So thanks.
Thank you, Nick, for sharing that. It's fantastic. And I think, you know, especially for year 1, a lot of people, when they hear of STEM and maker and tinkering and everything, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that possibly at all with year 1. And I know that you've been doing absolutely fantastic stuff using your little year 1s on there, creating Google Slides and, you know, their tinkering time. So I really appreciate you coming in and sharing and just showing the potential of just having faith in the littlies and pairing up with an older grade like buddies, and it just makes it work. So does anyone else have any questions?
I just have a comment. My 5-year-old daughter would love to be in your class. She's like this little maker. And what I love about that age group is you haven't put a ceiling on their ability. You just said, you know, you maybe need some support with some of, you know, accessing some of the materials, but the ideas, you've just put no ceiling on it. So that's amazing. Well done.
And that was kind of the idea for me, is that we give them so many things that we want them to do when they're young, and they've got to do this and that. But I wanted them to have that opportunity, that it's their choice, and to let them know that we respect what they want to do, and passion, you know, what drives them. And there isn't one child or parent or teacher who leaves that session who isn't just on a high of excitement and sharing, and they're just buzzing and they're sharing, and anyone could walk into the space and it's just this buzz that's always going on. It's a lot of fun. It's the best hour of the week.
Were there any other comments?
Oh, I was just going to make a comment to Nicole. We've actually been using Ozobots as well with our lilies. I don't know whether you've seen those at all, those light sensing robots, and drawing lines and colouring through mazes and those type of things. So I can send you some of those activities. That
would be fantastic. I know we have Spheros, and we do have our IT teacher has been coming in and making the Lego robots with the girls, but yeah, I just keep thinking, what's next? So I do try to take everything in baby steps, but I'm always open for new suggestions and ideas. Whatever's out there, I'd love to hear more and try to inspire the kids.
We do have Ozobots. I introduced them to our year 3s a couple of weeks ago, so
cool.
Happy to help and share those as the next little step. There's always so many little goodies at our school that you never even know about, and then you find them, you're like, oh, where's this been hiding?
Yeah.
So thanks, Annette. So next up is actually me. Now, I'm presenting a little bit weirdly tonight. I am presenting TeachTechPlay off my Mac, but then I'm going to present off my Surface, because I want to share the use of this wonderful pen. So bear with me, I've just got to switch. So that's why you may have wondered why there was a person like me just sort of hanging around. So let me just share this screen and then I can get started. All right, let me minimize that. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to everybody about today, let me just start the timer, was a few weeks ago, I got my new Surface Pro, which was very, very exciting. And I was really wanting to get into OneNote a bit more, and I'd only used OneNote through my desktop computer or my Mac. And so I knew I was limited a lot. And then once I got the pen in my hand, it really allowed me to think outside the box. And I'm super excited for next year because I've got this whole idea with my OneNote. But something that came up for me was running records. Now, something with them, I always find it's a waste of paper, printing it out, making all these marks, making all these comments, then using my iPad to record the student voices, to listen to them later, and it was becoming things were everywhere. And I'd get home and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot that pile at home. So I thought to myself, there has to be a way to digitalize this. So all I did was I grabbed the PDF copy of the running record sheet, and I simply just dropped that into OneNote. So I inserted it as a print format. Now in OneNote, you have, for the people who aren't familiar with it, I've just made a mock OneNote quickly this afternoon to show you guys. Along the top, you've got a general section, you've got a collaboration space where you can share a class notebook out with your students and they can all see and collaborate and connect together on that one area. You've got a content library where only the teacher can post stuff if you want students to view. And you've got a teacher-only section as well as individual student folders. So I've just invited one of our teachers there because she doesn't mind her name being shown. But the part that I'd heard about was a teacher-only section. And it was funny, the other week when we were at Microsoft, someone was talking about it, and I've gone, where on earth is that teacher-only space? Because it's not appearing in any of my class notebooks. And to get that, what you actually need to do is, let me just pull it up, is when you go to OneNote, if you click on Manage Notebooks, it actually comes up, come on, hurry up, and you'll see here that you've got the option teacher only section group, and it's enabled. So you'll see some of them are not enabled, so you just have to turn that on and then it will work. So It was as simple as that, and then it works. But the great thing about this is in the teacher only section, this is where I have begun storing all my running records. So all I simply do is I invite my student up, I give them the book, and I simply click on insert and I click on record voice. Now when I click record voice, it automatically starts recording, and you can see it's inserted just here, the recording. And I use my lovely pen, and then as the student's reading, I can make marks. So September 2005, if I only had a choice, I would, and I can simply click on here as I please, select what I want, I can tick, I can make my comments, and as I'm writing on this, the recording's working over the top. So when I play it back, it will show me where I'm up to with what I'm doing with my recordings as the recording follows it. And then at the end, I can just simply add my comments, so I can, you know, put in all my scores, I can write my notes on the side. And then what's great is at the end, I can then, when it gets to reports, I've got all my comments, all my information right there, and I don't even have to worry about carrying home a pile of student recordings, knowing things, what they've done. It's all done for me. And I think as a teacher, when we are trying to do all of this in our time, and especially, I don't know about most teachers, but I hate printing things off. And for me, that becomes the biggest headache. I hate sitting at the printer. First of all, it never has ink. It always is a headache. And everyone always calls on me and says, oh, there's no paper, or it's run out of ink. I know, Nick, you can probably vouch for that as well. It's the bane of my existence, printers. So now I can just say they're all there and we don't have to worry about them. So that was just a quick little tip, something I found really handy with using OneNote. And I hope others find it handy as well. So now I'm just going to try and close my computer. So perfect, that's all done now. So yeah, did anyone else have any comments or questions for me?
Eleni, I just wanted to second everything that you said. It's amazing, such a fantastic tool.
Thanks, yeah. It's funny, I've always loved Google, and I still love everything Google, especially when using it with kids. But especially as you move in the upper primary section, they need something just that little bit more. And being in a one-to-one iPad environment, just them being able to write on their screens, record it, and it just being visible and there for everyone, it's just been amazing. Like, our whole exhibition is on a OneNote, so we've got 55 students and I think 30 odd staff on it at the moment. It's crazy. A couple of things have gone missing, but I think it's because we've got so many people in it, but it's working well. So yeah, it just gives them another platform. And as a teacher organising, I know, Nick, you've started using it as well in organising your day life. It's amazing. Everything's recorded. So I'm really excited for next year and setting up all my planners and everything. So yeah. And lucky, last but not least, we have got Rebecca. So Rebecca, when you are ready, let me know and I will start the timer.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. All right, so today I'm going to share an idea with you that you could take back to your classrooms tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about how creativity fits into STEM. Now, I'm a big believer that we don't actually have to add the A to STEM to make it STEAM, because the arts are integrated across everything that we do. So I was recently appointed the Creativity and Innovation Coordinator at my school, and I'm responsible for ensuring we make creativity intentional and to ensure we find ways to integrate critical thinking and problem solving across all areas of the curriculum. So at the start of this term, I decided that I would set the students in my grade 4 class and the teachers a creativity challenge. Now, I had recently purchased this book as an initial idea of developing my creativity and my students. And the book has 365 creativity challenges in, one for each and every day of the year. An example of a challenge is, imagine the first sound you heard this morning when you woke up and create an image of where it came from. So those are the kinds of things we're looking at. And I'm really trying to get my students to see that exercising our creativity makes us innovative and able to solve problems. So what I did was I made 2 videos, one for the students in my class and one for the staff, and I posted the videos to YouTube and sent them a link on their email. And so I wrote each of the students an individual personalized letter that was in their little pigeonhole when they arrived at school. And for the staff, I just wrote little cards and left them on the staff room table. And so as a teacher, I really encourage all forms of technology. At my school, we integrate Microsoft with Google Apps for Education, as well as using platforms such as Scratch and devices such as Spheros at the Weekly Coding Club. So the students were invited to demonstrate their creativity by using any media of their choice. And I also invited the staff to take part because I think if we want our students to be creative, we have to be creative too. So they just came up with some fabulous ideas. I had students sharing Google Docs with me. One of my students asked, her challenge was, think about what you were doing at 11 a.m. today and write a short poem about it. So she shared this Google Doc with me. Another student, her challenge was create a list of interesting words. And she not only made the list, but she found images and quotes to go along with the words that she thought were interesting. I had a student whose challenge was imagine your teeth could talk, what would they say? And she actually went away and wrote a whole story about this, which I'd love to share with you to read because it's fabulous. And she did this on Google Docs. I had a staff member who actually did a video on Scratch, and her challenge was find someone who was born on this day, a famous person, and research and find something interesting about them. And she created this Scratch video on the actress Eleonora Duse. I had students use Microsoft Word. Thank you. I had students use Microsoft Word, and she had to write about her day except backwards, and she decided to use Pig Latin. I had a staff member use My Simple Slideshow, and if you haven't seen this, I really recommend you have a look. I'll just show the start of this.
My challenge was to pick 5 songs that would be the soundtrack of my day.
And she chose 5 songs about her day. I had students simply email me their ideas, and of course, not forgetting traditional paper and pencil, I had students who did artistic drawings. This student created a 3D model, so a bit of engineering in how she created that on the right-hand side. And really, they all just expressed themselves however they wanted to. And so really to end, I'm sharing this quote from Bill Gates, that technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them. The teacher really is the most important part. And if we can inspire them with projects like this, we can help them to be more creative, solve problems and be innovative. And that's the end.
Wonderful, Rebecca. I must say I've added that book to my list. I think there's a bit of lag there, but that's all right. So I've added that book to my list, and there are so many great creative ideas that you've been using. And I think it was key when you said there's not just, we don't make them use one tool. And I think that's really important in today's world, that kids are exposed to many different tools and that they have the choice. I know that's what we do as well at our school, is we really allow them to see what works best for them and support them in that way. We use Microsoft, Apple and Google all together. And, you know, sometimes it is challenging, but it is suited to what they need and they get exposed to all. So some really creative ideas. And I know next year, I can't say too much in case any kiddies are watching, but I've got some exciting things planned for next year. So, and Nick, don't laugh, I have had kids watch me before, so it's always funny when they do. So huge thank you, Rebecca. Did anyone else have any questions or comments?
I just wanted to say to Rebecca, in line with the book that you had, the woman that I spoke about it first, Rachel Dorley from Tinker Lab, she does a sketchbook challenge, and it's a daily sketchbook challenge, and she kind of sets it up. So that's another way to try and draw creativity out in another format. It's quite fun, and it uses different media, and it's just quite a simple thing. So that might be something that you could look into as well, just to connect and tie in with that.
Great. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you.
Rebecca, do you have any plans to work with parents on it? Because I love the fact that you combined, you did it for students, but also for staff. So I'd love to know if you're going to involve parents.
Yeah, I think I'd love to do it for the whole school, actually. And so I've had their challenges out on display for the students and the staff, but I think we could have it as a whole school project and have like an exhibition maybe at the end of term. This would be next year, but the success of it has been, so they've just really, really loved it. So I think that's something I'd really like to do.
Cool. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Rebecca, and thank you to all our presenters on tonight's show. I know that I have made a massive list of things to do, and I think and to look into, and I think that's the best part about what Teach Tech Play is all about. It's about bringing educators and connecting ideas and sharing what we are doing. So a huge thank you to you guys. Just a little reminder to make sure that you do join us next week for our Twitter conversation. I know there were lots of great little tips and tricks and new little things that you may want to go and investigate and explore. So if you can join us next Monday night at 8 p.m, that would be fantastic. And also the most important thing is to vote for your favorite presenter. So you can find this link, I'm sure it's being tweeted out, along with any resources that our presenters did share tonight as well. You can find on Twitter, and also you can find the voting link on our website. And just a reminder not to forget to make sure you get your tickets early for Teach Tech Play next year. I'm really excited with what is how it's all going to come together and everything that we will be sharing and learning together. And that's what it's all about. That's what we sort of put this together, and the vision of it. It sort of started out as just a little hobby, and now Teach Tech Play is becoming wonderful. And check out our community page as well. I know that our presenters that we've had on tonight are also showcased on that. So make sure you check out and see what everyone's vision of education is and why they are and what they do, why they do it. So Steve, did you have any final comments?
No, I'm so glad. What a show. I'm just looking forward to checking out the Buck Institute, the Creative Confidence Padlet, got Tinker Lab. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be an awesome day.
Yeah, I think I've got to jump on and buy some new books as well about a range of different people that were mentioned. So my summer reading is ready to go, I can see. But also make sure you join us for episode 27. To end the year, we have got one of our keynote speakers for the conference next year, Matt Miller, will be on the next month's show. And I know if you have read his book, Ditch the Textbook, he would have absolutely loved today's episode. I think all the little exciting things that we're all doing in our classroom, that's what he loves. So make sure you join us on Monday, the 5th of December, just before our summer holidays. So very exciting time, and reports should all be done by then, so everyone can put their feet up and relax and watch Teach Tech Play. So we'll see you next week for the Twitter chat, and if not, hopefully next month's episode. So thanks again, everyone, tuning in, and we'll see you all soon. See ya.